Every single signature scent video does the same thing. Here are 10 fragrances you should own. Here are the best picks for this year. Here's what smells expensive. Here's what gets the most compliments. And every single time someone watches that video, buys something off the list, wears it for 2 weeks, and eventually thinks, this doesn't really feel like me. Then they watch another video, buy something else, same result. I've been genuinely frustrated by this for a while, because nobody actually explains how a fragrance becomes your signature. They just keep handing out lists like that's an answer. It isn't. A list tells you what someone else likes. It tells you nothing about what fits you. And most people watching this have felt that exact thing. You found something on a list, it smelled genuinely good, and it still never clicked. There's a reason for that. And that's what this video is about. No list, just the actual method. Before anything else, let's define what a signature scent actually is. Most people assume it's the fragrance they wear most often, or the most complimented one, or the most expensive bottle on the shelf. None of those are it. A signature scent is the one where you stop second guessing. You spray it and get on with your day. You're not standing there thinking, does this suit me? Is this too much? It already feels like you, like it belongs there. You know that feeling when you put on an outfit and look in the mirror and think, yeah, that's it. That's what a signature scent feels like. Except nobody can see it. They can only smell it. And that's exactly why following someone else's list to find it makes no sense. Here's the problem with every recommendation video ever made, including by people with genuinely good intentions. That fragrance smells incredible on them, in their environment, on their skin, in the context of their life. You are not them. Skin pH, body temperature, natural oils, these change how a fragrance develops on you. Something that smells warm and expensive on someone else can smell flat or generic on yours. I've tried fragrances that every reviewer I trusted called harsh, and on my skin, they were genuinely lovely. I've had the opposite too, something universally praised that never worked on me no matter how many times I gave it a fair shot. And then there's the obvious one. Fragrance is subjective. Someone can genuinely love a fragrance and still be completely wrong for you. That's not because they're wrong, it's because taste isn't universal. If it was, we'd all own the same 3 bottles. And beyond skin chemistry, your actual life matters. The fragrance that works for someone filming videos at home and going out most evenings isn't automatically right for someone going into an office 5 days a week. A signature has to live in your actual life. The best fragrance in the world worn in the wrong context every day will always feel like a costume, never a signature. That's the real reason every list fails. It was built from someone else's skin, someone else's context, someone else's taste. So here's what to do instead. Forget the lists and start with what you already own. Pull out 2 or 3 fragrances you already own and genuinely reach for. Not the ones you think you should like, not the ones someone recommended, the ones you actually wear without overthinking it. Then go to Fragrantica, look up each one, find the notes. Focus on the heart and base. Ignore the top notes. They're not the ones that last the longest. What families keep showing up across all of them? Woody, musky, warm amber, fresh and aquatic? That pattern is your taste, not someone's opinion about what your taste should be, actual evidence from your own choices over time. You've been telling yourself what you like for years through what you reach for. You just haven't been paying attention to it. I did this with 3 fragrances I kept gravitating back to. All of them had a woody base, soft musk, something warm but never sweet. I'd basically been building my own fragrance profile for nearly 2 years without realizing it. The moment I saw the pattern, everything clicked. Why certain recommendations never landed on me, why I kept drifting back to the same territory. Once you have the pattern, use Fragrantica's search by notes function. Put in the notes that repeat across your favorites. Exclude the ones you've always disliked. The list that comes back, filtered entirely through your own history, is worth more than every generic top 10 you've ever watched, because it's the only one that was ever actually built around you. Also, one thing worth knowing, the pattern sometimes sometimes surprises you. You might find you keep returning to something heavier than you expected, or lighter, or a family you'd never have consciously chosen. Don't fight it. That's your honest taste, not the one you've picked up from influencers, reviewers, or whatever happens to be popular this month. One more practical thing while you're in the testing phase. Most people only try fragrances they've already heard of, the ones that show up on every list, the ones sitting at every department store counter, which means they're testing from the same small pool everyone else is testing from. Go wider. There are thousands of fragrances that never appear on popular lists simply because they're not famous enough to recommend to a mass audience. Some of them might be exactly yours. The easiest way to do this without spending a fortune is decants. A decant is just fragrance transferred from the original bottle into a smaller vial, usually 2 to 5 milliliters, sold by independent sellers online. Enough for several days of wear, costs a fraction of a full bottle. You can test 10 fragrances for the price of one. Find a trusted decant seller, search by the note families you identified, and start exploring beyond the obvious. Your signature probably isn't on the first page of any bestseller list. Once you've got your short list, here's the only test that actually matters: the wearing test. A fragrance can smell great and still not be your signature. The test isn't whether you like it, it's whether you stop noticing it. Wear something for 3 or 4 days. If you're still checking your wrist on day 3, still wondering if it suits you, still wondering if you're getting it right, it's probably not there yet. The right signature stops demanding your attention. It just sits there doing its job while you get on with your life. You stop thinking about it entirely. That's the real test. Not compliments, comfort. The first time I wore what eventually became my signature, I completely forgot I was wearing it. Someone mentioned it at the end of the day, and I realized I hadn't thought about it for hours. That was the sign. When a fragrance is really yours, you don't perform it, you just wear it. One more thing, and this is the part most guides skip because it doesn't exactly sell more bottles. Your signature will probably change, more than once. Who you are at 22 isn't who you are at 30. Your taste develops, your life shifts, your context changes. The fragrance that felt completely like you at one point might start to feel like someone you used to be. You can still own the bottle. You can still like the smell. It just doesn't feel like you anymore. That happened to me more than once, and it'll probably happen to you too. That is not failing. That's how identity works. A signature scent is a chapter, not a biography. You're allowed to close one and open another. The goal isn't finding one fragrance forever. It's learning to choose intentionally based on your actual taste, your actual skin, your actual life. That's a skill, not a purchase. So now with all that, you've got a method, not a list. A method that actually starts with you. Subscribe if this was useful. And the Fragrance Notes Guide is right there on screen if you want to take this one step further.